Earlier today, I heard somebody say, it's who you are when nobody's looking that really matters. That used to trigger me once upon a time because I knew I was wearing a mask. I knew I was somebody in private that I did not project in public. I can't say the same today. I feel like I've done so much work on myself, on my anger, that it's not a mask. It's really me in process of becoming who I am. So I give grace to that version of me. I understand that this version of me in the present day has learned a lot, has grown a lot, has also been through a lot, right? So that grace comes with the understanding of that was a lesson. So even if I mess up, it's okay. I get to keep going. My key phrase, pun intended. I challenge myself on purpose. I understand that I may have an imbalance. I understand that I come from a background of having anger issues, right? So now when I react to things or when I respond to things, it's coming from a space of an educated response, meaning my experiences have taught me how to show up now. My experiences are teaching me how to respond versus allowing my emotions to dictate what I react to. I hope that makes sense. In a few months, it'll be my 19-year anniversary for my first diagnosis with depression. And that's only because I went through postpartum depression and it developed so bad that I got a diagnosis. But I can guarantee that prior to that time, I had already experienced depression probably most of my life if I had to think about it. But on paper, almost 19 years now. So when I speak about depression, it's not coming from a Google version, right? Yeah, I might put stats. Yeah, I might try to give information that is factual, only to support what I know personally. I'm living through my own experience. My postpartum depression just taught me that I really should have got it checked out way before it developed into what it did. But by that time, it allowed me to get help. Help meaning therapy, reading books, seeking spiritual and religious ways to actually ground myself. So anytime I give a remedy, again, it's coming from my own experience and not a book, not Google, right? The stats are just proof that I'm not the only person. The stats are just proof that there's a science to how you can heal yourself. And that's why I use it to support my process. The remedy for me is about getting out of my comfort zone. I don't like talking about depression. I don't like talking about mental health. As much as I project positivity about my life and about the things that are around me, that comes from me experiencing the total opposite majority of my life. Experiencing moments of chaos, experiencing moments of tragedy repeatedly to the point where all I wanted to project was positivity. But I get how that could look funny if nobody ever knew you had something going on in the first place. So when I created the remedy, my goal was to challenge myself to be able to step out of my comfort zone and expose parts of me that the world needed to understand. And not because I'm bragging or living in my past, but because I need the world to understand that it's been me too. I'm not the only person. You're not the only person. And if I can still walk around with this positive disposition, so can you. Even with my anger, sometimes I joke about dropping out of anger management. But I dropped out of anger management because I was mad that day, right? I got into it with my therapist and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I didn't see the benefit. I was like, y'all making me mad, right? So what's the point of coming back here? It wasn't until COVID that I wanted to go back because so many incidents had happened where I got into physical altercations and it was just so much happening that I was like, yo, I need anger management. And it wasn't there no more. It didn't exist. COVID had taken that option away from me. I couldn't go sit in a group and talk about what was going on. There was no Zoom meeting for it even. It was gone. It was almost like I was being punished for quitting when I shouldn't have quit. But I understand how the universe works, and I understand that was God's way of saying, you got to fix this. You don't have to go sit in a room. You don't need to go talk to those people. You got to find a remedy. You got to find another way for you to get over what you're going through. Because if not, you already know where you're going to end up. I got too many real examples in front of me of what happens when your anger goes too far. I don't have to tell their story to even speak on anger management because I know my own struggle every day. I've also seen people way worse than me who explode at any given moment and have no self-control. That gives me a way to gauge where I am when I see it. Every time I'm exposed to a person who's angrier than me, I say to myself, well, damn, you ain't even that bad. You can't be that bad because look at this person, right? But that's life. It's levels to everything. And I'm grateful every time I can see and acknowledge someone who's worse than me, not in a way to brag, but to understand. Be grateful for the work you're putting in. Be grateful for your mindfulness. The fact that you can recognize that you're angry. The fact that you can pull yourself back before you explode. The fact that you can recognize your triggers and say, hey, that altered my mood. That shifted something in me. Everybody can't do that. That's a blessing, right? So I don't speak these things out loud or look down on people who have these explosive episodes in front of me. No. But that's a conversation with me and God where I'm like, yo, thank you. Thank you for giving me a rhyme and reason. Thank you for allowing me to see it before I jumped off the ledge. Because like I said, I got examples right in front of me. Not a distant cousin, right? Not a crazy uncle. But people right in front of me who I know did not make the right decisions. So it landed them in places they can't reverse. They can't come back from that. And to me, that's my blueprint. The same way you could look at a person and say, yo, I want to be successful just like that. I got plenty of blueprints in front of me that says, don't do that shit. You're not supposed to go that far. Or this is what happens when you take it that far. So because I handle so much on my day-to-day, my job was to find a way to manage it without getting overwhelmed every day, without letting anxiety, depression, ADHD take over. How could I do that? How could I win, right? My story being as unique as it is only unique to me because I meet people every day now who have similar stories. And I feel like God is showing me like, yo, it's not just you. You thought you was unique. Look, that same person that looks like, nothing's going on, had this happen to them too. Or maybe even worse. And they're further than me in life. And to me, that's a wake-up call. How long have I been letting my anger and my emotions and depression and blah, 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 blah be a weight on me so heavy that I wasn't moving? I wasn't able to make decisions. I wasn't able to be happy, to actually live in my purpose. So now the remedy is my way out. I'm going to do as much as I can to make myself happy, to live a real pleasant life, to be there with my children, to have experiences and memories and document it. Why not? I could have made a podcast talking about what's going on with so-and-so, how this celebrity is doing that. I love those. I got a list, my top 5, but that's not my purpose. I feel like for whatever reason, part of my story is meant to serve a purpose for other people. Not to expose everything that's happened to me. I'm not a victim. Definitely not a victim. That's not my stance at all. I wouldn't even call myself a survivor. At this point, meeting as many people as I have with a story similar to mine, right? I can't even look at it as a woe is me. This is something that has made me stronger. So when I stand on my strength, I need other people to understand these are things you stand on. You don't brag about it, no, but you walk like it. You talk like it. And you are grateful like you survived something that most people got crushed under. That's an energy. That's a movement in itself. And I feel like now is a season for people like me who almost got crushed to speak, to express it, to find a way to say, yo, I'm choosing to live. I don't want to go the other way because the other way is dark. The other way is scary. This way, may be a little lonely, but what they say is lonely at the top. And not because I've reached a massive amount of success or financial victories. That's coming. But being lonely at the top, to me, is a mental state of mind. The top, your mind, your dome, right? It's lonely up there. When you reach a certain level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a level of healing, right? Because you find yourself surrounded by people who are not at that level. And again, that has nothing to do with money. It's all about circumstance and how people choose to see the world. Are you a victim of your circumstance? Are you a woe is me complaining about this is the hand that I was dealt? Or did you play that hand to the best of your ability? What are you doing with your hand? And what's your purpose, right? Have you managed to create something with your hand? Are you doing the work you were designed to do? Or are you just working to live, survive, and buy tangible things? I've never been a person who worked the job because of the money it gave me. This is why I've switched fields so many times without thinking twice about what was behind me. Because it was never about that. I'm not chasing that type of dream. I'm looking for my purpose and what I'm doing. I want to be active in that energy, right? So with the remedy, I'm active in stepping outside of my comfort zone, speaking about the things that almost crushed me, and showing people I'm still standing no matter what. I don't have a crew yet. I don't have a team. Maybe this is my loneliness at the top, but I'm starting anyway. I can't wait for that no more. Because I used to wait for it and say, you know, God going to send me the people. Well, I think God was looking at me like, well, I'm waiting on you. You waiting on me and I'm waiting on you. You waiting on me and I'm waiting on you. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, God, I ain't waiting no more. And he probably clapping for me. God is probably like, yo, I've been told this girl. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little slow sometimes, you know. I'm a very intelligent person, but sometimes I catch on late. I'm aware of this now. And I give myself grace every time I catch on late. I'm like, wow, why you didn't see that? I could blame a lot of things, but in reality, it's just sometimes things go over your head. And this is one of those things where I had to come to terms with the fact that I didn't need anybody else to accomplish my life goals and my purpose, right? God didn't say, yo, it's going to be y'all. Y'all go out there and do that. But he did say, if you build it, they will come, right? So now this is me building my own ship, my own table to say, I'm creating a remedy for myself. And I pray that what I create expands to other people. I pray that it allows other people to say, you know what? I want to create a remedy for me. My story is unique too. You know, people don't know what I've gone through. She's not the only one, right? I'm not. I know I'm not. I don't selfishly proclaim to be the only one. I want everybody to know it's not just you. So find your remedy. What's your thing? And for me, it's a blank canvas. I don't know, right? So my goal is to discover it. Each activity, every time I make a video, every time I make a voice note, whatever it is, I'm seeking my remedy. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm in action mode and I'm trying, because the other way is not my purpose. The other way, like I said, is darkness. Been there already, been there, done that. 19 years and longer than that, like I said, right? That's not even a thing to brag about, but it's true. That's my truth. So that's it. That's the remedy. This is B-side, right? A-side, activity. B-side, sunny. That's it, talking shit. I hope you enjoyed this. Keep going.